Well, of course, we're going to get started with the election. Hopefully, we won't be talking too much about the election over the next 6 weeks, but we will talk about it a little today. So we put that on screen. Polling stations will be open on the 4th of July. And well, of course, that's Independence Day if you're in the United States. So I thought it was appropriate we should call that Independence Day in the UK, because we would like to see many independent candidates doing very, very well and kicking a bunch of these party political animals out. So what's been going on today? Well, first of all, they are now rushing in the Commons to pass certain types of legislation. So the infected blood compensation legislation they want to get passed. They want to get the post office convictions quashed today. They want the Victims and Prisoners Bill passed if they possibly can. The media bill is going to be heard, but it's unlikely, I suppose, which gets a yellow. And the reds are the no-fault evictions. That's going to be dropped, or it has been dropped, and the cigarette ban seems to have been dropped. But of course, what else has been dropped while they're busy campaigning? Well, any opportunity to read the House of Commons library briefing on what is the proposed World Health Organization Pandemic Preparedness Treaty. That, of course, will all take place while the House of Commons is away shouting at people to vote for them. So nobody gets to read this article within the House of Commons. Perhaps that's not a bad thing. But the rewards have been coming out, because many Tory MPs, of course, are not standing again. They see the writing on the wall and they don't see the point. So they're running for cover at the moment and not standing again. One of those, of course, is Matt Hancock. But he is very proud that he's been given the whip back. So the whip, as a Tory, he's back in the Conservative Party as of yesterday. After 2 decades serving his country, he says, in opposition and in government. And he wishes Rishi and all his colleagues all the best in the campaign to come. But he's proud to leave Parliament as a Conservative MP. I don't know whether these people even recognise the optics of their behaviour sometimes. But anyway, I thought we should take a look at who is going to be the next Prime Minister, because he is probably going to be the next Prime Minister, and that's Keir Starmer. And of course, we all remember a few months ago when he was at Davos being asked whether he would rather be in Parliament or at Davos. And he was very clear that he would prefer to be at Davos because he could get business done at Davos. Now, what kind of business was he talking about? Well, we'll have a look at that in a second. But of course, we can't forget that sitting on his shoulder is the ghost of Jimmy Savile. And Keir Starmer should never be allowed to forget that. So what am I talking about when it comes to why would he prefer to be at Davos? Well, this is the main reason. Of course, Keir Starmer, one of only 2 sitting MPs to have been a member of the Trilateral Commission, and he's still a proud member, or sorry, he's still proudly mentioned on the Trilateral Commission website. He is no longer a member, allegedly. I'm not certain that if you join an organisation like this, you ever leave, but that's another question. And the other MP that was serving whilst being a member of the Trilateral Commission was former MI6 agent Rory Stewart, otherwise known as Florence of Arabia. So these are the only 2 MPs that have been serving in the Trilateral Commission at the same time as being MPs. Now, of course, we all know that Rory Stewart was the man who went to Bilderberg Group and then refused to explain to his constituent when he was asked whether he was there in a professional as an MP or a personal capacity. And we know that Tobias Ellwood has played this same gag with respect to 77 Brigade. So maybe there's some questions to be asked about Keir Starmer and his activities outside of Parliament, and whether he's really appropriate to be an MP, or sorry, a Prime Minister or not. Now, if you want some more background to this, Declassified UK has this article: Keir Starmer joined secretive CIA linked group while serving in Corbyn's shadow cabinet. And I published this in July last year. It gives a lot of background to Starmer's involvement with the Trilateral Commission, and I strongly recommend that everybody reads that, and perhaps would want to distribute that as far and wide as possible. So then we should remember, and Ben, I'm going to ask you about this, because during Passover, of course, he was recording a video at the Aleph synagogue. But Ben, this isn't the normal synagogue that he goes to.
No, it's not. Starmer and his family go to the liberal Jewish synagogue in St John's Wood, which is also the synagogue attended by various members of the Rothschild family.
Right. So what we see here is someone who pretends to be a politician, a career politician, pretends to be wanting to be prime minister, but in fact prefers to be hobnobbing with the people at Davos, with the people in the Trilateral Commission, and with the Rothschilds. So where does that leave us with respect to democracy?
That's a very good question. And, let's not just pick on Keir Starmer. He's clearly got some questions to answer here, but this is just the political class through and through, isn't it?
Well, it is, well, I'm picking on him because he wants to be the boss, so it's reasonable to pick on him. I think. I mean, you're right; does go beyond him as well. So, what we would say then is, let's not have either of these fools. We certainly don't want Rishi Sunak. We don't want Keir Starmer either. It is going to be Independence Day, so let's create this hashtag of Independence Day, and let's make sure that the independents get a fair shout. Now, we've said it before, I'll say it again. In the past, independents haven't had a fair shout. And when Brian stood as an independent in the 2010 election, if you remember the story, the BBC arrived at the UK Column office and invited him to give an interview to the BBC. He asked, "How long have I got?" And they said 6 seconds. So that is the type of coverage that independents normally get. It is up to us to give any independents that are standing that we agree with, at least, the opportunity to get a fair hearing. So we'll leave it there. And as I say, hopefully not too much from us on the election over the coming weeks, because it's not really that interesting, I think. But I thought we should at least make some kind of opening comment on it.